Hello everybody, yes, it's Pitya, and welcome back to another tutorial on the TwinPlayz channel. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the index GUI. We're going to be basically remaking it and redoing it, just making it a little bit nicer for some people who have been wanting this, as well as, later in the future going on with all these other videos we have planned. There's going to be some cool things coming for sure. So, let's get into Studio, and yeah, let's get right started. All right, so I'm going to just quickly show you what we have as the old one. This is what your old one should look like. If it doesn't, then I don't know, but it should look like this. Some people like this. If you guys do like this where it has just an icon and stuff, like, feel free to do that. But yeah, so this is what the old one looks like. I know I probably have to fix this because I'm going to come back to this later, but right now, this is something that I'm going to come back to. The new one is a little different, so I'm going to quickly show you what it looks like. Now, one of the big things is, yeah, the multipliers, the like base icon skins and all that kind of stuff. Some people want me to do that, so I'm gonna be doing that. Right now it's not like that right now, but yeah, so this is what the new one looks like. Okay, so it kind of has like the effects and stuff, and then it actually has like animations, and it's actually using like your characters. So it's not really icons anymore. It's actually using your characters and the way they look. And it's pretty nice. I feel like it looks better. But it doesn't have like the collect all base stuff just yet, because we're going to be coming back to that because we have to, finish like the bases itself. But yeah, so this is the updated version. Now the lucky blocks, they do look like they're like not in the frame. That's because of the way we made them. I'm going to make probably like a thing about this later, but if you guys want them to just be in your frame, you're going to have to just position them differently. Like when you make them, and what I mean by that is the humanoid root part. But yeah, so this is the new one. This is what it looks like. It has your mutations and everything. And yeah, so it's pretty nice. It's pretty cool how we did it. And yeah, the mutations and all that kind of stuff. Last video we locked and was talking about this. So, okay, so we're gonna get right into this. So I want you guys to go onto your game basically, and if you have been watching the tutorials, if you're new, feel free to either join the Discord or, just look at the links in the description. So if you are part of the membership, I do have all the models and scripts and everything in there. In this video, we are going to be scripting it from scratch. Won't take too long, hopefully. I'm going to try and just, like, go through it. It's going to be a lot of programming, though, I will be honest. But we're going to get through this, you guys. And, yeah, so going straight into it, you should grab this kit right here. This is the model itself. This is what we're going to be using. So just feel free to grab it, and you should be able to use it. And this will have the GUI that I made, so you can, take a look at it. Okay, so I am in my new game right now. So this game, sorry, let me just quickly. Okay, so I'm in my new game right now. This is the one that yours is basically. You have your old index GUI. It should look like this, but we're going to be replacing it. So go to your toolbox, and we're going to import this. So importing is pretty simple, but let me make this full screen for you guys. So grab it right here, and it should be good. Now, there's going to be a README and a few things in here. So if you look at the README, which we will be doing, it talks about what you need to be doing, creating, updating, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so, and I kind of mentioned the whole, like, lucky block thing. But okay, so basically, this is the old GUI. Now, like I said, there is a little bit of a difference with the whole, we don't have the bottom bar thing. So that we can worry about and do later. But yeah, so basically, we're going to delete this. You can just, well, yeah, you can just delete it. You'll be fine. Starter GUI, you're going to go right here and this is the starter GUI. Okay, so when you do that, one of those old things. Oh, yeah, this is not to worry about. Okay, so when you do that, you should be good. You should have the frame and everything in here. And we need to fill this out, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing. But I'm going to just show you guys real quick. So if you click visible in the frame, you can see this is the Brainrot frame. And then we have the index button. And then in here, it has all the content, mutations. We have templates. So we're basically using a template. Now, if you want to like visible and make it like customized to your liking, you can like customize through all the properties down here. And so what I mean is like there's the template right here. If you want to change that the way you want, you can feel free to do that. It's all up to you guys, like I said. And yeah, so just make sure everything's invisible when you do edit them. But yeah, so basically what we do is we have a few things and we have a few templates and we just duplicate them. So if I were to like show you, this is what a duplicate would be like. And we use a viewport frame and we just like go like this, basically. It just goes down here and default, blah, 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 blah. So that's how that works. So template, we're going to make visible off. And then when we're done editing it, you can just turn this visible off too. Okay, so first things first, let's just do the simple stuff. Okay, so in replicated storage, you're going to replace your modules with this folder. So go to your modules. It's like this one right here. Delete it and add this folder. Now, I actually don't think I used module 3D. I think I was going to, and that's why I had you guys replace it. But I don't think I used it for this because of the way this was programmed, which kind of makes me upset, which I'll explain in a sec here. But it's okay. We'll worry about it later. And then we have this IndexPreview and ServerScript service. Okay, so IndexPreview. So you guys are probably like, okay, what is this? Which I'll talk about in a sec here. Basically, we have how we're going to do this is we're going to grab the models from a certain folder and put them on the screen. But how do you know where the models are? How do you get them? So right now, we actually save our things in server storage. But unfortunately, you can't grab from the IndexScript as a local client. You can't grab the models from the client side because it's in server storage. So it's better. You can only grab it from replicated storage. So what we need to do is we're going to create a script right now. And we are going to basically grab the folder from server storage and put it into replicated storage. The reason we're doing this is we need basically, I guess you could say we need to replicate it to the game to make sure that we can grab it and we can apply it to all the clients. So I guess we can just source things. I'll just follow what we did, what I did for these guys. Is we're going to grab the folder. So server storage, wait for child things. So we're going to go down into server storage and wait for this folder. Now, when we get the folder, when it loads in, we are going to grab a new local variable, which is going to be preview root. And we're going to go replicated storage, wait for child. Or actually, no, we could do, so we'll do find first child. And we are going to do things previews. Okay, let's just do thing previews. That's better. Okay. But if we don't have that, which we won't, we're going to do instance.new and we're going to call it folder. So we're going to make a new folder in replicated storage. And we are going to set this preview root.name equals thing previews. So this is just actually if we don't have it made, which we don't. It's just a thing if you guys want to. And then preview root dot parent equals replicated storage. So we're going to create a brand new folder and set it to replicated storage. You could even just get rid of this and just put a folder in here. And do wait for child things previews, but there's no need. But yeah, so preview root, and then we're gonna clear all children. So just make sure that we're clearing any old copies. But then we're gonna create a for loop. So for underscore, comma, mutation folder, and then we're gonna go in IPairs, and then I guess us our things, so source things. We can do get children. We're gonna create a for loop, and if not mutation folder. So if not mutation folder. And we are going to do is a folder, which it should be. So we don't really, this is just some things you can check, but we don't really need to worry about it. Local new mutation folder. And then, equals instance.new. And then we're going to go folder. Okay, so now we're creating new mutation folders. And we're going to go mutation folder.name. Let's go new mutation folder.name. And then we're going to go equals mutation folder.name. Okay, so we're going to be setting all these new mutation folders. Parent equals preview root. Okay, so basically right here is we're going to make a new folder for what we had, and we're going to set the name to basically all of the mutation folders in here, and we're going to set the parent to the preview root, which is going to be things previews. Then we are going to do for underscore rarity folder in IPairs mutation folder get children. Get attribute. Get children, and then we're going to do. Okay, so now we're going to go into the rarities. So what I mean by this, guys, is we have the mutations, and then we have the rarities. Okay, so we have to go and check each one of them. So now we're going inside of each of them, and if not, rarity folder. Same thing again is a folder, then continue end. So we're just not going to do it. Okay. So after that, we're going to do same thing again. Actually, it's probably easier if you just go like this. So we can go here, and we can go new rarity folder, just like that. And we can go here, and we can go rarity folder name, and then we can set this to a new mutation folder. So that's going to go and set it to our new folder that we created, which would be this mutation, and then set the parent of this to like default. So we're creating a new rarity and we're putting it in default or gold or night or rainbow, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then we're going to do for underscore thing in iPairs, and we're going to do rarity folder get children. Oh my God, why did it keep doing the attribute? Get children, do, and then this is where we actually just clone. So thing clone dot parent equals new rarity folder. So that's going to get us all the things inside of these and set them to here. So we're basically, like I said, we're just copying this whole thing over to replicate storage. Now, technically, I feel like you could also just like copy this entire folder itself and just put it in here. But I think it's just another way of double checking that a certain way things are made. And if you guys just want to avoid all of that, you can just put this inside of replicated storage and just go like that. But the reason I don't do that is because you don't want to have multiple like folders that you have to like redo and make sure that you're not missing like when you're making new things. So that just prevents it so you have to change anything in the future and not worry about it. Okay, so that's that. Now, one more thing. Oh, yeah, I totally forgot. Let's get into this. This is the simplest part. For the modules in your replicated storage in rarities and mutations, okay? So you have to add this. I put this right here, visual preset, okay? So this is going to be in both of them. So anytime you do this, you're going to go comma, and you're going to go visual preset equals nil, visual preset equals nil. And so what this means is basically when we do our effects, so if you have effects on your text, so like when we were doing Brainrot God, so I'm going to show you real quick, we're going to call this rainbow. And the reason we're doing that is we want a rainbow effect. And in secret, I'm going to call this ghost because that's a ghost effect. Now, what are these names coming from? They are coming from the modules in replicated storage under easy visuals. Okay, so in here, in your presets, this is the names of all the ones that they have pre-made for you. So there's ghost, there's gold, there's rainbow, all those kind of things. So I'm going to set nil to the ones that we don't want effects on, which all of these should have no effects until like godly or like secret, you know? And then we go to mutations and we do the exact same thing. So I'm going to do comma and I'm going to go visual preset equals nil. Gold though, just for fun, I like to do effect on this one because it's kind of cool. So I'll do gold. Visual preset here will be rainbow. Oops. And then we'll do a comma. So make sure you're adding all the commas. And you just have to add it to all of your things. So just make sure you're doing that. Now, yeah, visual preset, we'll go comma, and then I will go, I'm going to go, let's go like, let's see, what do we have here? We have a bunch of ones on the right. We'll go like shine, okay, just for fun. Okay, so shine. Now, fog and demon, I'm going to get rid of these. I don't know why they were in here, but we don't need them as mutations, actually. This was actually something I wanted to get rid of as well, was in here. Oh, wait, no, they're not even in here. Okay, perfect. So, because they're actually traits, so traits shouldn't even be in there because server storage, configuration modules, traits, they're actually a trait instead. So, yeah. Okay, so basically we have visual presets, we set them, and now we're good. So I'm going to go into this in a bit here too as well, because that's where we haven't done. But yeah, so we updated the module folders, we did the index preview, we did the script, the rarities mutations, now we need to do the script. So this is the longest part of the video, so I hope you guys can bear with me. I can probably pause some things, but I'm probably just going to go right into it. So we're going to need to do a lot of stuff. Okay, so basically we are going to, let's go services. So we're going to grab local replicated storage, and then we'll go like this, equals game get service replicated storage. Local, tween service equals game get service tween service. And we'll go local players equals game get service players. I'll go local run service equals game get service run service. It's gonna be a lot of typing. Now, if you guys are on mobile, I don't know, I feel bad. I recommend you guys, join the. Well, you know what? It's kind of weird to even do that. Well, either way, I watched the video, so just recommend watching it because that's how we're gonna be doing things. Okay, so replicated storage.modules, wait for child animations, and then we're gonna grab a few more places. Okay, so those are the services. We're going to do the modules here. So let's grab all these. Local things equals require. Oh, gosh. Require replicated storage and then dot configuration, dot modules, wait for child, things. Okay, so guys, just want to reiterate 1 second here is in replicated storage, when we do these things, require is something we have to use for modules. So we're going to go replicated storage, we're going to go dot modules, and we're going to wait for child animations. This is the thing, so we're going to go replicate storage dot configuration, dot modules, and wait for things. Now we're going to need to do the mutations. So if you want to save your time, just go like this and copy and paste, and then we'll go mutations, and then we're going to do the same thing again. So we're just going to copy this, and we are going to go and do rarity. Rarities like this, and we can go rarities. Yeah, rarities. Okay. So we've got the modules now. Okay. So we have our local player, by the way. That's the way we graph local player. Okay, so this is gonna be the 3D easy visuals. So local, yeah, we can go. I don't know. We just go like this, ease, and then this is something I did. Is visuals equals pcall function, and then this is something you don't really have to do. I think it's just doing it because. So we're gonna go like here. Oh. There we go. Okay, and we're gonna go yeah, return. And then we're going to go require just to make sure we get it. But it's the same thing like I was talking about. You don't really need this. This is just like another thing. You could basically just go right here and just do easy visuals. So honestly, I mean, I'll probably just do that instead. But yeah. Okay, so easy visuals equals replicate storage dot modules like this. And wait for child easy visuals. So you don't really need that. Okay, so local get player things function. So this was, I think, function. Yeah, like this. This was the remote we made. So modules.remotes.functions, wait for child, get player things. Okay, so this is the function we're going to use to get player things. And then local index GUI equals, now this is where we go into the script itself. So script.parent. So script.parent, and we're going to go local index frame equals index GUI, wait for child, index frame. Okay. And then local index button equals, and then we're going to go index GUI, wait for child, index button. Okay, so guys, remember we going parent, script.parent, index frame, index button. And then this is where, so this is where we're grabbing our UI instances, you can say. Okay. And then we're going to go local content equals, and then this is where we go into the main stuff, index frame, wait for child, content, and then local holder equals content, wait for child holder. We can go local list equals holder, wait for child list. So we're just going and grabbing all these variables, guys. So I'm going to explain that in a sec here, but item template equals list. Oh, wait for child, and we're going to go template. And then we're actually going to make this a GUI object. So we're going to go like that. Okay. So this is what we're going to be cloning. And then we're going to go, yeah, so that's basically going inside here and grabbing all this stuff, okay? So that's kind of what we do when we do this. And then we go local close button. And guys, there's ways to go around this. Like you could go self dot this, that, you know, and that's why like I don't like programming like this. I'd rather use modules now because it's a little harder to, not harder. I feel like it's more tedious to just do it like this, but yeah. Okay, so, and you guys can pause the video if you want to just, like, come back and just write down all these scripts. We're just going to be doing it step by step. So now we're grabbing the close button as well. So, and we're calling all these things. So, I don't want you guys to get confused what we're doing here, but we're just basically defining all the variables to make sure we can use them for the scripts. Okay, so I'm going to just keep going here. We need to keep doing a few more. So, mutations frame, wait for child, and we're going to go template. Okay. So now we have the templates and everything. And like I said, guys, we're going and calling all these kind of things. So we're done with that part. Now we need to, yeah, I guess you could say it's just like, I guess we could say config. Let's just call it config. So we're going to grab the configuration folder. Configuration folder. Okay. And we're going to say player find first child. We're going to say configuration. Okay. So this is where we find the configuration of the player. Local base value equals configuration folder and configuration folder find first child base. Okay, so I'll talk about this in a sec, but it's kind of what we use in the it's what we use in when we make the game, we start the game, we put a configuration folder to the player. So if not base, then return end. Okay, so we just want to make sure that we have the player config. I guess you could say, like, we could say player base check is what you could call it almost. So we're just checking into the base. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, so state. So we're going to do local current mutation equals default. So we're going to set a default variable of mutation, which that's for sure is how it's going to be. Local player things data. Okay. And then we're going to set this to just a table. So this is what we're going to be using for, you know, mutation name, things names, all that kind of stuff. And then we're going to create another one. We're going to call it spin connections. So guys, I'm looking at my script right now that I wrote, but just because. But this is going to just check for certain things. So we're tracking and making sure that we have, we're double checking things. Okay. So I'll say it as simple as that. So this is going to be the, let's say viewport frame configuration. Okay. So when you guys want to change the way your viewport frame works, we're going to do like this. Okay. So we can do, yeah, this is the way I had it written down. I'm actually probably just going to copy and paste this. Just for you guys to understand a little bit. Okay, so we have a few things. We have the default base yaw, and then we have the default tilt, and then we have the FOV, and then we have padding. Okay, so this is how I've configured it. Now, this is something you can change the numbers. So if you're going 180 degrees, tilting, are we going to tilt it more to the left or right? And then the FOV is kind of like the camera field of view. So whether that's far or close. Like I said, you can go higher or lower. So we'll touch this up and I'll show you what it does. And then, yeah, padding is the same thing. So one is exact fit. So kind of talks about that. Now, yeah, you can just write those down. So make sure you write those down. Now, we are going to, yeah, probably go straight into these ones. These are going to be the local ease visual helpers. Now, I think we might have made these already. I don't remember. Let's double check, because if we made these already, I think you guys won't have to worry about it. I don't know if we did. Let's see here. Yeah, they're a little different, so we're gonna probably have to write them. We're gonna have to write them. Okay, we're gonna have to write them. So, why did I say easy visual helpers? So this is where we're using easy visual helpers. What I mean by that is we're just making functions. Okay. Let's do this. So local function, ensure base gradient. Okay, so in here, label, text label. So we're going to make sure we have a label. We're going to do the text label. And we're going to do UI gradient. Okay, just like this. We're going to create a few local functions. I'm going to actually just write them out first. We should be doing this, you know, when it comes to writing the rest of the scripts. But since I'm just looking at the screen and doing this, we're going to just copy one by one and make sure we aren't missing things. And I want to make sure, yeah, we're kind of I mean, we can actually come back to these in a sec here, so we'll do either or. So text label, and then we can go text label, and then effect name, or go string with that. Okay, so go down. We're going to just create these, like I said, and then we should be good. And where is this? Why is this getting, oh yeah, where it's oh. Okay, we should be good here. I don't know why we're getting that thing right there. Okay. So local function, just like that. And then we can do, yeah, local function, set label color. So there's a few functions we're going to be having to set, like I said. And then we're going to do color sequence 3. Perfect. And then local function, style mutation label. So there's a few of these that we have to make, guys, because we just need to. So I'll talk about that in a second here. We're not going to fill them out just yet because I want you guys to see what I mean by this. So sorry, I actually changed my mind there, but we're gonna do it one by one because we probably should just go and do the main portion of it. But yeah, so rarity name, and then we are going to go string. Okay, so just like that. So in here, then we have local function. We're doing one more thing. Actually, yeah. So this is a good breaking point right here. We're gonna do the animate button, which we'll talk about in a bit here. We're gonna do data fetch, I guess you could say. So we're gonna go through a lot of things here. So okay, so grabbing the model. So we're gonna data fetch, and we have the viewport frame. Okay, so this is where we actually do the local function. So local function attach model, and then we're gonna go frame, and then we're gonna go instance. Okay, so we're gonna get an instance of that thing name string. And we're gonna go owned boolean. Okay, oh, value of boolean. Just like this. So this is where we actually attach it. So we're going to do that in a bit here. And then we have the updated, let's say mutation buttons. Let's say, actually, we'll just go mutation buttons, okay? Just like this. Local function, and we're going to go update mutation buttons, just like that. And we're going to open it just right here. Okay, so in mutation buttons, so we have the left side, so you're going to do that. We're going to do another thing. We're going to do mutation things, okay? So this is a little different. And we aren't going to make this a local function. We're actually just make it a normal function. And we're going to do update mutation things, just like that. And we're going to call, like I said, we're going to have to call a few things in a bit here. But then we're going to do the main thing. Okay, so open/close, let's go handlers. Okay, so we already called the index button. So we can go index button dot activated, connect function, and then this is where you just go right here. And then we could go close button dot activated, connect function, and we go right here. Oops, we go back. There we go. Okay, and then we do, I guess live updating, I guess you could call it. So we'll talk about this, and then we're gonna go right here, and we're gonna do animations, okay? And animations are actually very simple. We'll just do that right now. So animations, and this is, you guys are probably wondering, like, what was this from? This is actually already something we made in the animations module folder. So it just already, I mean, it was already made by someone, and by what's his name? Who made the kit? Golden Milk. He made the animations, so we're just gonna use what he did. So animate button, and then we're gonna do close button, and that's gonna give us some cool effects. Okay, now in here we're actually just gonna do this, and I'll just show you real quick, and we're gonna copy and paste index frame dot visible, then we're gonna go animations, and we're gonna go animate frame like this, index frame comma false, and then else. This is where we do the big thing. So update mutation things, we're gonna call that, we're gonna go update mutation buttons. Okay, so like this, and then after that we're going to do this script right here, and we're gonna do trip. So this is every time we reopen it, we're basically going to be updating the mutation buttons and things, okay, just to make sure that we're getting the right one, and we're not putting out the false things. But yeah, and then you could just copy and paste this because it's the exact same script. So that's the open and close. Okay, so I guess we could do this first. We'll do the live updating. So there's a lot of code we have to go through, you guys, so just bear with me. Like I said, if you're part of the membership, you can get the model. I just feel like this is better for you guys to learn a little bit as well. But yeah, so going into the updating, okay? So for underscore slot, and then we're going to go in iPairs. We're going to go base.slots, just like this. Get children. We're going to go here, and we're going to go do. Okay, so in here, we are going to grab the configuration. Oh my gosh, I cannot spell sometimes. Configuration, and we're going to do equals slot find first child. We're going to do configuration. So I actually, you know what? I think we might need to do based on slot in my pairs. Yeah, well, okay, we'll come back to this after, but either way, we'll finish this up. So slot dot child added, and we're gonna do connect, and this is where we're gonna do update mutation things, just like that. Okay, and you can actually just go like this. So just go like that, and slot dot child removed, and then connect update. Oh my gosh, update mutation things. Okay, so what this is doing is we're basically checking and making sure that we are grabbing the people's you know, their base and stuff. And so what I mean by that is we're grabbing their base value. We're grabbing their slots, and we are just getting the children and making sure that we are updating it based on what's going on. So if configuration, then we're going to do local thing value equals configuration, find first child, and we're going to go thing, okay? And then if thing value, then we're going to go thing value, get property change signal. Okay, just like this. Oh. And we're going to do connect, and then on. So, oh, there we go. This is where we do connect, and we're going to go update mutation things. Okay, just like that. All right, so that should update it. All right, so that should be good for that part. So now that we have the open and close, this is the update mutation thing. So I think we'll come back to that. I'm going to actually just, I think what I'm going to do to save time for you guys is I'm going to have you guys pause the video. I'm going to just copy and paste a few things here. I'm going to explain. I'll just go start my script right now, okay? So ensure base gradient. Okay, right here we have, and we're going to double check that we are giving the, we're checking if there's a gradient. Okay, so if there is a gradient, then we're going to reuse the original one. If there isn't, we're going to create it. Now this is for the easy visuals, so that's what we're doing right here. So we're going to just do that. So pause the video, text this in. Yeah, so that's ensure base gradient. Okay. Now for remove overlay gradients, this one is going to be as well kind of the same thing as again. We're checking if there is a gradient. If there is, we're going to destroy it. And then we are going to set an attribute. Now, I'm going to explain kind of how this works with the easy effects. This is the way I used them. But yeah, so this is going to remove the overlay gradients. So you're good to copy and paste this as well. So we'll go into that later, but feel free to pause the video on that. And then going forward to apply effect once. So this is just a local function to apply the effect. Okay. So yeah, so this is okay, and you don't need okay, and you can just get rid of that. So if effect name in easy visuals and easyvisuals.new, then we're going to do easyvisuals.new label effect name 1. Okay. So this is going to apply the effect, and we double check. So we're going to use this function that we just made. We double check that there isn't a variable. There isn't a, we ensure, sorry. So this is kind of how we go through it, is when we apply the effect, we go through the function remove overlay. So we remove anything that was already there, and we ensure that there is a base gradient. If there isn't, then we make it. So that's kind of what we're doing through these functions. And then we go right here and we do easyvisuals.new, which we do the label effect name 1. So that's where we go and just apply it. So then we do set label color. I guess we can go right here, and I'll put this right here. So this is going to make sure we get the right color. Sorry, excuse me. And label by this, I mean, is like the text. So if it's like gold or blue or pink or orange, any of those, that's what we're doing here. So you're good to type this in as well, and you should be good there. So just pause the video on that. Now in style mutation label, this is actually the same thing as almost as style rarity label, where we're doing mutations. So info, when we do this, which I'll talk about in a bit here, is we're actually just grabbing the mutations and grabbing the name. And if not info, then we're going to just set the label to nil and 1, but which we do normally get the info.color, I guess color. What I mean by that is right here, this color. We actually will grab that and we set the label color using this function. And that's where we go through all the other functions. We set the label color to what we got on info.color. So this color right here in mutations, and we apply the effect. Okay. So that's what we're doing right here. Now applying effect is different from set label color. Set label color is like doing just the color, but we override that color if we have an effect. So if it's nil, then we don't do it. We don't override it. But if there's effect, we add that to the text. Now, style rarity label. So this is actually, like I said, kind of the same thing. We go in here, but we're actually just doing rarities and rarity name. So if you look at these two, they're the exact same thing. They're just different with the info. That's it. But yeah, so you can just do that. So then we're good, and we can close those out. So I hope that kind of explains that portion of that. So now we have those, and then we have the animate button. So animate button, this is just something I will just actually copy and paste too. You guys will just pause the video. Just copy this down. So local function animate once, which I'm going to explain in a bit here. We're just going to be animating the buttons the way we want to. The mutation buttons. You do not need this. It's just something that you can do for fun, which I will talk about. But yeah, we're just checking if there's a button, if it's a GUI button, if we have animated, so animated true, and then we just do animations, animate button. Okay. And then we're good with that. So data fetch. So this is kind of be like the, I guess the main part of this too. So we're going to need to grab the load player things data. So I'm going to just paste this in here as well, because for the sake of time, but you can pause the video on these two. Actually, I'm going to do both of them. So I'm going to just do both of them. You guys can pause the video. So these are the two ones we're going to need. Okay. So local function load player things data, we're going to make sure we grab the function here that we made. So this is that remotes function and then invoke server, sorry. We're basically going to grab the table, grab their data. And if not, there's no data, then we're just going to set it to like nil to blank. There's nothing in there. But there should be data, so you guys should be able to grab that. Okay, so that's loading the function of that. And then we have spinners right here. So this is where I was talking about. We're going to be disconnecting and connecting things. It's a little bit more of advanced programming, but you know, that kind of works. But this is a local script. We should be doing this in a module either way. Okay. So yeah, we have okay, so we have attach model, update mutation things, and those. Okay, so we basically have the rest of it figured out. Now it comes down to like actually programming the thing itself, the like putting on the script and the wall of the GUI. So going into this local attach model, local update, and update mutation things. Now in these both, okay, so there's a few things we can do. I'm gonna go like this real quick just for you guys to this. So we're gonna need to type this in. So just write this out if you can for me, just right here, and we're gonna do the attach model. Okay, so attach model is gonna be a little bit more writing than usual, but yeah, we'll go into it. So I'm gonna just go and just for the sake, like I said, go copy script by script. Okay. So we're gonna check if there is a viewport frame. If there's no viewport frame, then we're just gonna return and we're not gonna do it. So viewport frame by that I mean is in the template. So we have the template in here, and we go. So I'll go content older list template, and in here we have a viewport frame. So we're just checking the viewport frame. If there isn't, then we're gonna do that. Okay, so once we have the viewport frame, we're gonna clear all the children inside of it. So make sure there's nothing inside of the viewport frame. We are going to do the disconnect here, and then we are going to go onto the script. So now we are going to create a camera. So with the camera, this is going to be set to the viewport. It's going to be an index cam, well, as the name, but it's just a camera. And then we're do viewport frame. So viewport, this right here, dot current camera. So see this current camera property? That's going to be set to the cam that we just made. Okay. And then we're going to create a world model. So the world model is what's going to be allowing us to see this 3D clone. I've heard this was the best way to do this, so we're going to be doing that. And that's kind of why I wanted to use module 3D, but I wasn't able to do that. But okay, so going into that, we have our two new variables. We have the world model and the camera. So those are both going to be band-aid. Now, we're going to grab the asset root in the mutation folder. So we talked about this. We actually made it in our index preview. So we're going to grab these two things, and we're going to call them and define them. And then we are going to go into these. Okay, so now we have these. Okay, so configuration is what we're going to be doing thing name. So when we get the thing name right here, we're going to check and double check that we're grabbing the right one. We're going to grab the rarity. We're going to grab the rarity folder, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's kind of what the same thing with here, mutation folder, rarity folder, all that. So these are calling basically what we were talking about is it's calling these right here. So it's grabbing the right thing, and we're going to be attaching that correct model. So now how does that work? So this is where we're going to go and do this. Okay. So in here, basically object is going to be rarity folder, find for child thing name. If not object, so we're saying if we can't find that thing inside of the folder, then we are going to check and say object is mutation folder, find for child thing name. That's just a fallback, but that's only if that happens. But that shouldn't happen, so you don't need to worry about it. If not object, though, we're going to say that we couldn't find the asset. You don't need to type these in. So I wouldn't recommend you have to type these in. It's up to you. I would just do if not object, then just return. Okay. You don't need the warning. It's up to you guys, but this just helps for you when you code because it will show you that there is an error. So that's what the warning is for. Now with that, there's local model. So local model equals object clone model.parent equals world. Okay. So model is object, so the thing. Okay, we're going to clone the thing, and we're going to set that thing to the world model. Okay, and that world model is set to the viewport, so that's where we display it and we get it. But, you know, it kind of comes down to where do we put it? How do we size it? How do we get this, that, and that? Okay, so this is where we go on to that part. So if not model.primary part, which there should be, you don't need to worry about this, but yeah, so if there's a primary part, which there already should be, it's going to set the primary part to the model base part. Okay, so that's what we're doing right here. Now, we are going to do, so this is like the main things right here. Okay, so I'm going to actually just paste this for you guys. This is a little bit more of scripting, be aware. Keep pausing the video if you're trying to follow along so it's a little bit simpler. But okay, so this is the next script that you're going to need. So we're going to grab the size. This is the model. We're going to get the bounding box of the model, okay? And we are going to do the radius. So we're going to do the radius using math. I'm not the greatest with the math stuff. I honestly always ask like AI to help me out with that because I'm not very certain on how that stuff works. But yeah, so you grab the radius, and then we're going to set this to the degree that we made. So that degree that we made was up here. So we have that. Okay, so once we have that, we should have the configuration, and we find that we have the and then this plus C, Boolean number, and this is where we just set these things. Okay. So this is kind of vectory 3. If you look at the scripts right here, these are the comments kind of talking about that. So right here, now this is where we actually set things, okay? So I'm going to paste this next part. Okay. So we do the front face of the camera. We do a tilt. So this is where we do that tilt that we had, and this is where we do model pivot to cframe.new 0, 0, 0 times the base rotation. Okay, so place the model origin using the base rotation. That's what we're doing right here. So you will need to type this out. This kind of goes around with how the scripts work, and then model pivot to. Okay, and then in here we have the FOV. So very simple enough. This is where we're grabbing the FOV that we made, and then the distance. So the distance, though, we need to talk about. So that's where we go right here, and we do this. Okay, so this is where we grab the offsets and all that stuff. So field of view, remember how we had that FOV? That's what we're doing with this value right here as we're setting it. So camera has a lot of values. Actually, if I were to import a camera right here, there's actually everything you can look in here. So there's FOV, there's the max FOV, there's like field mode of views modes, there's camera types, all that kind of stuff. I guess there's VR tilt, which is kind of cool. But yeah, so that's where we set and do that. Okay, now we have a bigger kind of script to look into. Okay, so I'm going to go step by step once again. This is the idle animation, so just pause the video. So idle animation in here, basically, you're going to set this to the idle. So what this is doing is in the script on the screen, you know how we had the idles playing, the animations? That's what we're doing right here. Now, we don't have it running. This is just the local variable. So we're double checking and we're finding them and creating new ones. And then to play it, we actually do this part. So right here, local played equals false. If we do find that we have the idle ID, we have the string, we create an animation, and we set the animation ID to idle ID, which is used already in the things modules that we made. So talking about that, guys, right here. So idle animations, all these, we set that to what we do right here. Okay, and then we just loop it, we play, and we play equals true. Okay, and then another thing too, I guess we can do this. This is another thing. So you don't have to put this in. Same thing though. If no, I didn't gently spin the model around. So I actually talked about this because sometimes the idle animations don't work. But so like I had a secret cat. So if you have a cat that like doesn't have an idle animation that works. Oh yeah. So that's why that wasn't working. Okay. So I was realizing why this guy was spinning was because in this, basically this spins it around if the idle animation is not loading. So that's honestly a nice addition to have. I kind of like that they spin around. Honestly, if you want to just make it so they all spin around, you can literally just delete all this right here. So if you want to just delete all this, feel free to, and then you can just well, not the played, so don't do that. But then that's where you can just delete this. Sorry, that's where you delete that. But this spins it around, so I'll talk about that in a second here, and I see why now because this says idle, not just idle. That's why it's broken. Okay. So then, of course, this is where we're going to do the rest. So if it's not owned, so basically what's saying right here is we are checking if it's owned, true or false, when we attach the model. If it's not owned, we are going to set the variables of 0 to it. So we're going to make it so it's blacked out, so you can't see it. But if it is, then we're going to set it to 1 so you can see it. Okay, so that is the end of that. Now we have the mutation buttons. So this is not as bad too. So we're going to go into here. We are going to go straight into this. So then it's just a then at the end right there, by the way, guys. So in here, we're going to grab we're going to do a for loop. We're going to go inside the mutations frame, get the children. If the child is not equal to the button, mutation button template and not is a child of UI list layout, is a GUI object, then we're just going to destroy it. Okay. So we're going to just destroy it. So that's where we do the old buttons. We destroy them. Okay. So in here, we do the local ordered. Okay, so right here, sort mutations. Mutations by chance. So this is where we grab them and make sure we're doing it by the right and correct order. So this is where we have the local ordered. And then we do table sort. Okay, so this is how we sort them. Okay, mutations.chance. So just make sure you type these in because that's going to do it by chance and make sure it's in the correct order. Okay, then we do the creating of each button. So we can say this is create each button. And we go like this. Okay. So in here, we basically go into the ordered order. So the order that we just made, we find the order. And we check. So this is a table, by the way, guys. So there's nothing in it. But then we make sure and we insert into the table the order and the name. And then we sort the table based off of the chances. Then we go inside of them and we say, local B equals mutation button template clone. So we're going to clone the button. We're going to set the parent to the mutation frame, set it visible, set the name to the mutation. So like gold, rainbow, all that. We're going to set that to that. Then we're going to grab the local label. So we find the text label. And if we find the text label, which we do style mutation label. So that's where we're going inside of in mutations, in the template, in text label. We grab the text label, we set we style it. And that's where we go through all these functions of styling it, getting the effect, doing an overlay gradient, all that kind of stuff. Then this is the animate button that I was talking about. So if you want to animate it, when you just hover over them, that will do that. So just do animate once. That should be good. And we have b.activated cure mutation equals mutation and then updated mutation things. Okay, so that's where we do the mutation button things. And then we go into update mutation things. So that is a function. So it's not a local function. So you can call it wherever. In update mutation things, this one is a little bit bigger as well, guys. So I'm going to just go with the bigger load. Okay. So this is what you're going to have to type in right here. So this is the main portion of it. So load player things, clear spinners, and then we are going to go through the rest of it, okay? So load player things data. So when we go and update all the mutation things, we're going to load all the player data, okay? And we're going to clear it. And then we are going to do the rest of this here. Same thing again. So go through, destroy anything that was already there. We clear everything. We find mutation things. So if we can't find it, there's no current mutation, then we return end. But then we do the rarity order. So this is the same thing again. So we're going through and checking the table. We're going to sort everything. And then down here, we're doing the exact same thing again, table.sort. So that's the whole point of that. We're going through and sorting everything, okay? So it's the same thing as literally what we did up here. It's just the table sort, but now we're doing it through rarities. And that's where when we put the buttons, is what I'm trying to tell you guys. This is that, like the buttons, not the buttons, sorry, the frames. That's what we're doing here. Okay, so now this is where it gets a little bit more. I'm going to go script by script and show you. But this is the last of it, guys, so hang in with me, okay? So this is a little bit bigger. So this is where we left off. So just start writing this out, okay? So we have a for loop, so you could go, just cop that out. And we're going to do 2 for loops inside of it, okay? So we're going to go in rarity order, and then we're going to grab the name of things names, okay? And we're going to grab the configuration, and we check the configuration rarity, so we find that. We check that, so ownership check, players has discovered or owns it. So if they own it, then we set it to true. We clone the template. So this is a slot that I was talking about, item template. So in content holder list template, we clone it, set the name to whatever the name is, which is the thing name. So we're going to set it to the thing name. So that's where we change right here. We set this template to that name of the thing. We set the visible and the parent. Then we go and grab the name label, rarity label, and mutation label. Okay, so you see these 3 things right here. We grab them. We set the name label to owned. So what owned is like, what that means is we're basically grabbing the cat. We're grabbing the thing. We're grabbing like LeBron James. I don't know, the name of your thing. And then you just do if it's not owned. So what we're making it is we're checking if it's owned. Okay, this is where we check right here. If it's not owned, and we have, well, this is checking if we have the name and it's owned. Okay, if we have both of those, then we'll grab the text and we'll set it to LeBron James. If we don't own it, it's going to be set to 3 question marks. So that just means they have to discover it. What is it? They have to unlock it. If you don't want to do that, you can just get rid of this. But I wouldn't recommend that because that means then it's just going to show the template as text. You don't want that. Okay, so then we have mutation label. So it's where we style it. So you can just copy this and just copy and paste it here and do rarity instead. So we're going to style the mutation, style the rarity on the button. So rarity mutation. And then we're also going to attach the model. So that whole script that we did up here, we have frame, thing name, owned. We're going to attach it by doing slot, name, and then owned. Okay, so we're going to check. We're going to set the slot. We're going to do slot. And slot is this thing right here. Okay, slot is this. And we're going to send that to the attach model function. We're going to do the name, which is the name. And then we do owned. Is that true or false? And we set that, and we set it to attach the model. Then, of course, again, if it's not owned, this is where we do the dimming, auto button color, false or true, and we go in active, in image color, image transparency. So that is where we do that, okay? So that is it, you guys. So that's about it. I know that was a long scripting tutorial. I hope I don't even know how long that was. Holy crap, that is a long tutorial. Okay, so as you can tell, we have everything in here. So you should be able to click index, and it should pop up just like this, okay? So as you can see. And yes, what I meant was lit cat. You see how the animation is spinning? That is because it doesn't have the animation ID, right? So that's why it's spinning. So you guys can customize it how you like, and then as you see how these degrees, like the way they're looking. And another thing you guys can do is you can actually look at player GUI. We could go into index GUI, and you can kind of look at the frame and what I was gonna say. So like if you go into the list, you can see all the different things. So like if I hold thing right here, wait, was this default? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it is. And you can look at the mutation frame. So see how the viewport is? I don't know if it allows you to. Let me see real quick. I think you were able to. Let's see. Yeah, so if you want to customize this and just like look at the way it is, it shows you how far it is. If you want to go 30, like you can go super close. You can go 80. And then field of view, you can go same thing again. You can go 80. You can go 10. Oh no, you don't want to do that. Like 50. There's so much stuff you guys can do. And then when it comes to the tilting, though, you do have to like kind of tilt it a bit. So that's something you just have to do in the actual script. But it kind of shows you like how these things work. The index cam, the way the things are. So see how we have the thing now? This is literally what we're putting is in the GUI. And we're doing the render world, we're doing the index cam, and we're setting the viewport frame. That's how this works. And then, yeah, and here too, there's also that animation controller, and we have the animator. But yeah, so that's about that. And then as you can tell, we have mutation label, and then we have the rarity label. And if you were to go down to like, I don't know, there's the secret lucky block. It doesn't really have its thing, but see how we have the rarity label and we have the text gradient, and it's a color sequence and it's always moving. That's what that is. But yeah, so it's pretty cool, guys. And then as you tell, every time we actually go into here and we just like change it up, it changes it for us. Like it changes this as well. But yeah, so you have the animations, and then you hit close and you should be good. So that is the new index GUI. We have the rainbows and all that kind of stuff. Now I'm going to be touching this up and making more to just everything for you guys there. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I know this was a freaking long tutorial. I'm so sorry. And I know you guys are like, oh crap, like what are we gonna do now that I don't have all the scripts? I have to actually type it out, and I don't know what to say. But you guys have the kit and everything, so whatever's easier to you guys. I'm gonna be doing a lot more tutorials, especially just like making things from scratch. So I feel like it's important to learn and understand scripts and the way they work. But yeah, thank you guys for being here, and I will see you in the next video.